Yeah, we eat, we enjoy, we see friends and our daughter, but nothing is better than home. Because the weather is so hot, so humid, even my wife have to rinse up every time she goes out. Because it's so hot, even with the aircon on, so it's terrible. So we are really blessed here, okay? We have 4 seasons. So I'm happy to be back. Pastor Kyung have asked me to speak on money, right? And it's a very controversial topic. And I say, okay, right? And money, right? Where it comes from, particularly I'm speaking from a book of Proverbs. So I said, okay, what is money? You know, money. Everybody needs money, money. But actually, we will understand. Let me see. All right, money is being mentioned more than 800 times in the Bible. Money is just a medium of exchange of goods and services. But why is that so important that God spoke more than 800 times in the Holy Bible? Well, I think if God say this is important, it has to be very important, right? So let us look at what he say in in 1 Matthew 6:10. He said, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves through with many sorrows." But money in its pure form is not evil. Really, it's not evil. You need money. It's just whether it's coin form or paper form, or it is just a medium of exchange. But what the Lord is telling us is the greed. The greed is evil. The greed is sinful. Wow. Then Pastor Kyung said, preach it from the book of Proverbs, money. So I have to start looking through. And there are many verses in the proverb itself talking about money, talking about what is the issue or the problems and all about money. So in Proverbs 10:22, it says, "The blessing of the Lord makes a person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it." Whoa, money doesn't give you sorrow, It doesn't make sorrow. Why? That's why sometimes money will sort of really make some people feel crazy, right? Many people have different ideas about money. Some will say that it is sinful to be rich. Others will say, oh, it has to be virtue to be poor. But also some say that money provides the ultimate security. But I want to ask you, what does the Bible talk about? In the book of Proverbs, in the Bible, it talks about earnings, it talks about spending, it talks about saving, it talks about giving. Even it talks about not to waste money. Now, when I'm asked to share on money, I have to ask myself, money, what does Solomon say? Solomon, you know very well that he's a very wise man in the Bible said. But God said, what do you want? He didn't say, I want my kingdom, or he didn't say, I want to go and conquer. He said, I want wisdom. Well, if Solomon, who wrote the book, I think, on Proverbs, say he wants wisdom, we better follow him, right? Wisdom. Now, if you look in the Old Testament, Solomon is brought up with the 10 Commandments. They talked about, they tell you to be good, and things that is guided by the book, by the 10 Commandments. But he asked for wisdom. So obviously, wisdom is more than money, right? If you have wisdom, God will make you make wise decisions, make you really think, okay, money is just an exchange. What does money give me? Well, why do I ask for wisdom for money? Because Solomon prayed that when he has wisdom, he can use it wisely for his extension of his kingdom, do whatever it is. But he asked for wisdom, and wisdom is important for the usage of money. So now, let us look at what Matthew, the book of Matthew chapter 23 say. What sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are careful to tithe even the tiniest income from your herb gardens, but you ignore the most important aspects of the law: justice, mercy, and faith. You should tithe, yes, but do not neglect the more important things. Definitely I'm going to talk about tithing. Definitely I'm going to talk to you about tithing. But even Jesus spoke to the Pharisees, say, you hypocrite. You tithe. Everything in the garden you tithe. But you forgot the weightier law, aspect of the law: justice, mercy, and faith. Why is it important? Jesus is telling us that you tithe, but don't forget about the poor. Don't forget, right, that when I give you money, what do you use it for? In the Old Testament, they taught us to tithe 10% of the gross income. But in the New Testament, it teaches us to be a cheerful giver. So, I think Solomon asked for wisdom. When you tithe 10%, he knows about that. It's just a basic entry to me. Basically, is like 101 tithing, obedience to God. Which we have more wisdom. Wisdom allows you to give sacrificially. Sacrificially. Right? When I talk what you mean by sacrificially. Jesus actually told us in his teaching, he told the Pharisees, hey, I know you tithe, but do you remember what about mercy? What about your justice and faith? What he's actually telling us is, hey, you need to be also give out and help the community. Because earlier part I talked to you in that verse 10:22, the blessing of Lord makes the person rich, and he adds no sorrow with it. Remember, when your money, it should not bring you sorrow, right? You should be happy. But how many people know that they worry about, in the whole of so many cases, multi-million, they worry about what? Worry about the money. Whether they're gone or whether their investment, whatever it is, they would think they worry about money. Now I'll give you a true story. When I first came to Australia in 1967, I was brought up in Leaderville with a family, and surrounded us with a lot of Italians, Greeks, and they work very hard. Right? I remember one family, and the father works hard, and he doesn't like the bank. He doesn't like it, so he saved all his money into a 40-gallon drum. So can you imagine this guy work hard and keep it, and then the children knows he buried it in the garden. So one day, he passed away. And the children said, whoa, now I got my inheritance. They dug up. It's a true story, in the neighborhood there. Everybody will tell you about that. They dug it up. And what happened? All disintegrated, all eaten by birds, all gone. So now I'm telling you what the Lord said. The blessing of the Lord will make you rich, but it add no sorrow. But he's giving sorrowful tales, right? Sorrow, say. So, I'm telling you right now, don't think that you put your money and hid it away, it is good. But you have to use it. What God is actually telling us to be merciful, to help, right? Pay attention to this law and help people. If God allows you to be sacrificial, right? You give, so give. But God must be conviction in your heart. Now, I also, when you just look at it, you say, money, if money is your problem, the problem is not money, The way I answer is the Lord. Because the Lord makes everything. Even in Genesis, when you say that, when you wake up, woke up, he saw everything he had made was good. Everything was good. So, if everything was good, why do we have sorrow? Poverty, right? People got poverty, but there are many types. There are people who don't know, oh, there's no injustice. Poverty, because of injustice, is no problem. Now, poverty, because of laziness, is a problem, okay? Because God said He made everything that was good. But in the proverb I found, therefore, lazy people are soon poor, hard workers get rich. You know I'm sorry if I use Asian, there are some Caucasian here, but the Asian family when I'm young must work hard, must save, must work hard. There is a good saying there, you know. Lazy people are soon poor, but hard workers get rich. We are in the, our contemporaries are the baby boomers. You see many baby boomers work hard, work hard, work hard. I save, invest properly. And many are Christian and they keep multiplying. The question is not their smartness, I think. It's because they have God. Now remember this, my mother used to tell me in Chinese. You see, there are 3 generations. The first generation work, then make the money. The second generation, the children will spend it, enjoy it. The third generation will really spend everything, destroy the thing, all gone. 3 generations. And if you look back to some of the people that I know of, it's true, 3 generations of the wealth gone. So, but there are people who are God-fearing people like the Rockefeller. His name is Nelson Rockefeller. If you read his biography, you will see that when he was very young, when he started working to help the mother was very poor. The first paycheck he has to give the mother said, come son, you sit down. Here you are, take 10% and tithe to God. And he said, if he doesn't know how to tithe, he will never know how to tithe millions. But God, remember him, he still have Rockefeller Foundation. He's still there, his legacy. But those who is not follow the tithing, follow Christ, and you can see they disappeared. But Rockefeller, his mother is a Baptist, and he followed the principle of tithing. I think it's very important and expect to understand that there are people who God-fearing, invest wisely, and Rockefeller, if you look to, he's so rich, he founded oil, I think it's Standard Oil in America. So you can see that these people who really follow the teaching of God, their wealth not only multiply, but they keep on going. But those who are few that who doesn't know God is swindled away by the 3rd generation. So, but wealth from get rich quick scheme quickly disappear. Wealth from hard work grows over time. Right? Proverbs 13:11. Now it's true, There are many people who say, okay, come in, I'll give you this 30% return. Or very quick. But there are a lot of Ponzi scheme. I was caught before. You put money in there, you will get it back. Even the tax deduction you do. But ultimately we pay. There is no such thing. Get rich scheme. It's hard work. Hard work, like in Proverbs 6, when you read the end, slow, take their time. Everything they store up in winter, in summer, in winter come, it's still a lot to eat. So it teaches us to be wise into the usage of money. You are wise, but he doesn't ask you to be stingy, right? He asks you to be wise. Wise means wise in also saving, investment, but at the same time, he also expects you, God also expects you to look after the people. Right? So it's important to understand this aspect. And when Pastor Kim asked me to preach on money, I said, wow, this one here is very controversial. But being an accountant, I'm not teaching you about how to invest. I'm teaching you about how to invest to God's word. I'm still learning, but I'm glad he asked me to do it. When I started reading the book of Proverbs, I get more out of it. Right? And so it comes back to one thing. So money is very important. So now I want to ask you, hey, we need to know we must be good steward of money. If money is such an important in our life for the medium of exchange, so God has spoken more than 800 times in the Bible, we need to know how to manage money, how we are the steward of money. Now, let me read you on Deuteronomy 8:18. And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you power to get wealth, that He may establish His covenant with which He swore your fathers, and it is this day. Well, God has a covenant with you. He gives you power to get rich. So then we must know, hey, how do we use the money? We must be good steward. We must be steward of this money. So it's important, steward. Now talking about steward, then we have to talk about many types of stewardship. I'll bring you, this one have to bring some Bible words in here. So you have to read with me, and then you can see the power of God. First of all, is provision of stewardship. Now, talk about this. I won't read all of them, but Matthew 25:16-30 is a very famous Bible on the 5 talents. Right? To cut it short, you say that he was a master, and this master, they say, is very tough, and he called his 3 servants together. He said, here, I give you 5 talents. Here, I give you 2 talents. Here, I give you 1 talent. Then, let me read those answers here. So verse 16 onwards, then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents. Traded with them, made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. Remember what I told you? Hiding in the ground? After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he said, who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I've gained 5 more talents beside them. The Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You are faithful over few things, and I will make you ruler over many things. Enter in your joy of the Lord. He also, who had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I've gained 2 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter in the joy of the Lord. Now I want you to read the next one. More importantly, I want you to take it, then I'll elaborate. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid, and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you are, what is yours? What did the Lord say? But his Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. Hey, I want to ask you this question. He answered, so you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. So take the talent from him and gave it to one who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and will have abundance. But for him who does not have, even when he has, will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I will tell you this is very controversial. I feel that how come that the one that hid it, he's so scared of his master, returned one, and the master called him lazy servant, wicked and lazy. Right? I was questioned many times. Right? But today I feel that I can pray through. I felt that God might have given me some insight. Why you call the person lazy? He didn't lose any money, you know. He gave it back to him and said lazy, and look, wicked servant. Virtually, I found that as I prepare, I found that the Lord is saying to me, hey, I give you money, you ask me, you invest wisely, but use it wisely, right? For the extension of the kingdom, to help the poor. The more you give, the more I'll give you. But similarly, talents is not only about money, right? It's also about talents to serve the ministry. So if you all here are very good cook, the kitchen ministry require your talent. Don't waste it. Don't sit down and bury it and let the Lord say, you lazy servant. No, I encourage you. Those who are wanted to teach, Lord or love the Bible, see Pastor Kyung. You never know. He might say, hey, come let's do something about ministry. Those who are bursting to share the gospel, go. Use it for His name's sake. Not hide it under, like what they say, like what I told you. The guy was so worried about losing all his money, he don't trust the bank, he lost everything. So therefore, it's very precious. Even one gift you have, use it. You can see God will multiply for you. Now, let's talk about practice of stewardship. Again, I have to read some of the things to show you what the Bible says. Practice of stewardship. Poor stewardship and rich stewardship. Let's talk about the poor stewardship. If you know this parable, that I'm going to read, is a rich farmer. And he said to them, take heed and beware of covetousness. One life does not consist in abundance of the thing he possesses. Then he spoke a parable to them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man yielded plentiful. And he thought within him, saying, what shall I do, since I have no room to store my crops? So he said, I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there I will store all my crops and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, your many goods lay up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, fool, this night your soul will require of you. Then whose will those things be which you have provided? So is he who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. Now God is saying to you, hey, you have plenty of money, you want to expand. I got so much comfort now, I don't worry. So you tell your soul, I go and enjoy life now. And God said, you're a fool. You virtually say you're a fool. Why? He said, use it for His kingdom. Use it to bless people. The more you bless, the more you get back. I will tell you, it's not an exchange, but you see people's life, it happens like that. Right? Now I'll tell you a story. I just went to Singapore. I met a few people, and one of them was a missionary. And I remember, I know him more than 20, 30 years already. He really gave up everything. Gave up his job, big job, money. He went out and gave a lot to the kingdom. So today he's almost same age with me. He is retired. Well, but he still have a house, still live well, but he doesn't really have a lot of disposable income. I was asking and talking to him. He said, when I chose to give up all the things, my wife was so angry with me. My wife would nearly divorce me. But he has seen me through for the last 20 to 30 years. I have given up everything, which I can see his life. He is true to his word, but he lives a good life. And today he lives in houses in Singapore, but it's all paid for, not by him, his children. The blessing of the Lord not only given to him, also plus his children. And his children provided for him, buy him a house. So he doesn't lack. He still goes to mission field. So I say that don't be a fool to think that, I keep getting more and more and more, forgetting about what God wants us to do. I'm not asking you to give away your millions, right? I'm telling you, you can help, you can do the thing God provide for you. There are some people who are extreme. I'm not being extremist. I say, just do what the Lord wants you to do. So what is rich stewardship? Now that is poor stewardship. He didn't look after his money well. Like what I told you about the Italian man lost everything, okay? But what about rich stewardship? If you look at Acts 2, verse 45 to 47 say, and sold their possession and goods, and dividing them among all as anyone had need. So continue daily from one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily those who are being saved. I pray that we have this community, which I know you are very careful, very caring, helping each other, sharing, and that God will increase. And that's our prayer with our pastors, that we have a community, we share, we help, we do, and God will act. We do not need to use our head to act. God will act. God is the adder, not us. But we just trust in Him. And this good community, and that is in Acts. And this church is really founded, basically on the book of Acts when we first started. That's how in the marketplace and how we used to follow this style of teaching. Okay, now I also must talk about, I'll talk to you about provision, talk to you about practice. Now I'll talk to you about principle of stewardship. Right? Where's the principle? Well, if you look at the story of Mary and their expensive perfume, again, I need to read it quickly so that you guys get the gist of what I'm going to say. And being in Bethany at the house of Simon, the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came having an alabaster flask of very costly oil of spikenard. Then she broke the flask and poured it on his head. But there were some who were indignant among themselves and said, why was this fragrant oil wasted? For it might have been sold for more than 300 denarii, 1 year's wages, and given to the poor. And they criticized her sharply. This woman has done will also be told as a memorial to her. Let's see what is the story of what did Jesus say. But Jesus said, let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has done a good work for me. For you have the poor with you always, and wherever you wish, you may do them good. But me, that means talking about Jesus himself, you do not have always. She has done what she could. She has come beforehand to anoint my body for burial. As surely I say to you, wherever this gospel is preached in this whole world, what this woman has done will also be told as a memorial to her. Okay, Jesus is saying, no, don't worry. No, you might grumble. You might say it's wasting money. Use it for needy people. But the missing point, what Jesus pointed out is, he said, you focus attention on the giver. The woman showed a deep love for Jesus. That's why pour the oil and she honored him. So her heart is good, right? When we make God our highest priority, our desire is to honor him. What is the result? This releases a spirit of love, which releases resources to meet real needs. Oh, I want you to think carefully. He said, when we make God our highest priority, our desire is to honor him. This releases a spirit of love, which releases resources to meet our needs. I'll tell you, it's very true. I'll give you another good testimony. Again in Singapore, Ira and I, we have a chance to have lunch with the family. Right? The mother is a very generous person, give everywhere. She knows sometimes that she's being taken for a ride, but yet she give out her heart. Sometimes it's silly, but her heart is good. So the son is a very young business person. Told me this, I don't know why, uncle. I say, why? I invest so hard, I so calculative. I never seems to make money very little. But my mother, wow, she simply do some stupid investment to us, buying the wrong time at the highest, but can make millions. I say, do you know why? Yeah, I know. It's because of God. Now he turned himself to God, And this young man, he said this to me. I was very taken by what he said. He said, "No, I don't worry. Yes, we have to be careful. We have to be calculative. We have to do this, but whatever we do, if it's God's, do it for God. God will honor." And this young guy is not married yet, and can tell me this. Then I thought it's good to share that if you honor God as your highest priority, because you love God, you love people because of the spirit of love God gives you. It releases resources to meet your real needs. Whatever you want, you can see, God will honor you. God will make sure that your investment look after it for you and you multiply for you. Now, I say this is because I know it happens to a few people too, not only his family. Now, I've talked to you about provisional stewardship, principle stewardship, right? And also the other one that I spoke to you in regards to practice of stewardship. But let us now talk about the power of stewardship. Power. Your relationship with money impacts your relationship with God. Stewardship is not a financial ministry. What is it then? It's a disciple ministry. You cannot serve God and mammon. Matthew 6:24 said, "No one can serve two masters. For either he will have one and love the other, or else will be loyal to the one and despite the other." You cannot serve God and mammon. It's very true. You need to have a ministry. The ministry is the disciple ministry. It is not a financial ministry now. There are people, as an accountant, come to me throughout the years. They have scratched their head. They say, "I really do not know what to do. I don't have money." But when you look at their lives, when you look at their earnings, they actually have more than enough. Why are they in such a situation? Then you look through their budgets, you know that they wasted money in all types of their fancies, all types of their desires, right? But if you have the principle that I share with you, if you have $100 and you say, "Okay, I want to put $10 to God. That's my budget first. I got $90. So what do I do with my $90? Or my daily spending? Okay, I still spend some, I still got 20 left. Right? What do I do with my 20? God might say, "Okay, you take this 20, put in some investment." Right? Give you wise decision. And you can see how you grow. So therefore, but if you consider money your God, well, then you see that it will disappear. Like I've shared with you, the third generation frittered the money away if they consider that gone already, no more, because but if you honor God, like what the Nelson Rockefeller today, his charity is still there. You can see Nelson Rockefeller's foundation. You see they are all going. It's still a legacy. So you need to have the discipline to know to use the money for where God wants to ask you to put it to. Now, for example, if this church is so big now, we need some extension. And if the leaders and all this come and say, "Okay, we're going to build a church, another extension, we need money." Well, it is then up to us, the conviction of our heart, whether how much you want to give to this ministry. Now, if you do that, you honor God, God will honor you. I know that. Well, I'm not here to tell because I've seen with my own eyes, experienced too sometimes with people and our own, that God will never forget. And many will tell me, "Oh no, I don't have money now," But When you look at the budget, as I told you before, many of them spend foolishly. So therefore, it's not that they don't have money, it's that they spend foolishly. If they have used that budget, I remember God, okay, my conviction is I tithe, and then the rest, what do I do with my family? Well, what are saving? Then the savings come. Can we? Well, what investment do we do? Not everybody asks you to come in investment to go, but I believe you ask wisely, God will show you investments. And it's important to know that God is in your life. Right? Let us look about this power of stewardship. Let's see what the young ruler said to God. Now a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? So Jesus said to him, Why you call me good? No one is good but one, that is God. You know the commandments. Do not commit adultery. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor your father, your mother. And he said, all these things I've kept from my youth. And what did Jesus say? When Jesus heard this thing, he said to him, you still lack one thing. Sell all that you have and distribute to the poor, and you have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me. But when he heard this, he became very sorrowful, for he was very rich. As I remember to tell you earlier, the blessing of the Lord makes one rich, but he adds no sorrow. Right? So therefore, this guy cannot give all. Jesus said, you want? You give all, you follow me. But actually I feel that Jesus is testing him. If Jesus asks you to give, you give. But Jesus also see your heart. You'll see that you won't dwindle. It will increase. You know, this is a spiritual concept. A lot of people know about it, but won't dare to practice it. But I've seen people practicing it. I see them, you know, they sometimes you just wonder, how come we keep adding on to it? But because they understood that when God asked them to do for his action, he do it. And I really know one guy in Singapore. Every year he gave away $1 million. $1 million. They say, what? $1 million. But you can see him, his business just keep going. Right? So because God convicted him. But I ask myself, when I have this money so much, do you think I can pay this $1 million? I check myself. Now I'm not checking on you. Is that possible? Are we worried about this? Give away, nothing left. Do we have to give to our children? I remember this. I talked to my wife, don't worry about our children. They will look after themselves because God will look after himself. Whatever we have, we are not here, yeah, you can help. But don't work and work and work. Save it up for the children. I think that you can leave a legacy. But what God wants you to do, I believe, you do it. Now I know it's a very hard topic to share this, to talk about it, but I just felt in my spirit that if you follow the precept of God, I believe you see the blessing of God in your life. Not only you got money, because other things will save, your cars, people say, hey, how come you don't need to repair all this? Because God will look after you. Right? Things like that, little things add up. Right? Things add up. I'm very blessed today, okay? I came into the church. Two ladies told me, wow, Jim, you're very well dressed. I like your jumper. I said, look, I do not worry about all this, but my daughter, my wife, they all fashion me, okay? Not myself, okay? Then in the car park, I met one sister. Jim, I know you're preaching. I pray for you. Wow, so good. I know my pastors and my leader praying. And then it made me more happier. I was inside there praying and looking at young Makala came to me. Uncle Jim, what are you doing? I said, well, I pray for you, you know. I said, oh, can you pray for me now? He said, I did pray for you. So he started praying for me, for the Holy Spirit to empower me. I said, wow, young girl. So I'm very blessed today. I said, God, you know my cry. This is an important topic. It's very controversial. You know, people have their ideas of money, but I want to preach from your perspective, from your perspective, money. Many people have different view, but what is your perspective? And I want to share that perspective. There's the power of stewardship. Let us look at 1 Timothy 6, 17, 19. When you say, command those who are rich in the present age not to be haughty, nor to trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God, who give us richly of things to enjoy. Let them do good, that they may be rich in good works, ready to give, willing to share, storing up for themselves a good foundation for the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life. Before I finish, I just want to share this. This is the one that I followed from day one, and I'll share with you why. Matthew 6, 33, 34. But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. This is my heart. When I first came to know God, I do not know the Bible. I have a dream. The dream is just like that only. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. I said, what is this? Is that from God? At that time I just became a Christian. I have no idea. So I made a challenge to God. God, if it is from you today, I go and listen to the sermon that was in FGA in those days, nearly 30 years ago. I said, the pastor will preach these verses. Then I know it's you. Wow, the pastor finished, closed, already shop already, I said, nothing like this, But before he left, he flashes out. It hit me like a rocket. God spoke to me. I said, God, what do you mean? Seek you first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and you shall add everything unto me. What do you really mean? Throughout the years, throughout teaching, throughout all the brothers and sisters, and we have the marketplace, I realize what God is saying. You worship Him, you honor Him. Right? He asks you to do a thing, to help people, you read His word. Right? And throughout the years, I understand what you say. And then when you do all this, now I remember, in my practice, there's one girl who is a Christian who prayed for my salvation, mind you. But when I became a Christian, I was so fired up. Everybody comes, I share the gospel, I pray for them. And she told me, this is not the church, This is office. Church means people, She left me, But she's a Christian who prayed for me and she gave me a big Bible some more. So can you remember? So, I'm telling it to you. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. Don't worry. He will add everything to you. He will protect you. He will add everything. First of all, He will not only protect you in your investment, He protect you your health-wise. He protect you, your family. He unite everything. You just have to believe and honor Him, that's all. But it's hard to fathom all these. You say, what this guy talking about? But I have experience. Right? My wife keeps saying, don't share about us. But today I cannot. But I must tell you, I prayed 18 years for my wife to come to church. 18 years. Okay? I said before. So God honors. So don't worry, People worry about, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. I said, God, I got this worry, You say you add all this, no worry. You say blessing of the Lord. We make us rich. And we should not have any sorrow. So we should not be worried and be sorrowful about this. We say, okay, God, you told me that. I believe you. I believe you. So I do your work. You make sure, Lord. You make me happier. You make sure. You just pray like that. I believe. Now, many people sitting on here have given up the careers, Some of you to serve God. But do you think they are like? I don't think so. I think they make more money without nobody knowing. God knows only. Okay? So I was really, really, really encourage all of you, seek Him first and His righteousness, and He will have everything for you. Let me pray. Lord, I want to thank you, Father, for the sharing this morning for myself. Because of you, Lord, you have given me the words to share. Lord, I pray that each and every one of them you will release the love over them. So that, Lord, when they believe in you, Lord, you will release the power of stewardship. You release everything to them, Lord, they won't be lack. So that, Lord, they not only look at their investment, Lord, they look at your investment. They will share the gospel. They do your work joyfully, because you say they were joyful. They were not in sorrow. Lord, that each and every one of them will know that you look after them, not only in health, not only in your investment and money, but also in your ministry. I also want to pray and declare that those who are not feeling well today, they might not be here today, but Lord, I pray that healing power you release over them, that they are fully recovered. At this stage, I will think of one lady who called me this morning, Sister Iris. She's back, she told me, but she couldn't come. She was talking and spitting, coughing. Then I realized, hey, no worries, sister, don't come, because God will honor her, and I pray that she'll be healed. That those who are not feeling well, those who are having rashes and all this, God will heal you. Those who are worried about their jobs, worry about the investments, worry about their investment everywhere, businesses, don't worry. You honor God, God will protect you, and God will give a way out for you. And those who feel sad because some of the loved ones have gone away, but Lord has taken care for you, don't worry, because God is your God who comforts you, who gives you peace. Those who are looking for jobs, thinking that they are still struggling, don't worry. If you have this God, look towards Him. He will provide you with all the cares and all the needs you require. I can safely tell you that Yolanda and myself always feel the love of God, and we always be protected. Sometimes stupid thing like me driving, that nearly accident, but God is the one who protects me. So I want to pray that our God is a God who protects us, who look after us, and then give us peace. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I will now ask the pastor and the worship team to come.